Have you ever felt like you woke up one day and suddenly everything about yourself felt different, like you were looking at your own life through completely new eyes, with wisdom and memories that couldn't possibly belong to the person you were just yesterday? If you've ever experienced a profound shift where your entire spiritual understanding, your preferences, even your personality seem to transform overnight, you might be experiencing something far more extraordinary than a simple awakening. You might be a walk-in soul. Walk-in souls are advanced spiritual beings who enter existing human bodies during times of deep transformation, often replacing or merging with the original soul through divine agreement. Unlike traditional reincarnation, walk-ins happen during this lifetime, bringing with them profound past life memories, ancient wisdom, and an urgent sense of spiritual mission. If you've been feeling like a stranger in your own life lately, if memories that aren't yours keep surfacing, or if people keep telling you that you've completely changed, the universe might be confirming what your soul already knows. Today we're exploring the 5 unmistakable signs that you're not just awakening, you're a walk-in soul carrying the sacred memories of multiple lifetimes. Sign 1. The Great Identity Shift. You became a different person overnight. The first and most profound sign of being a walk-in soul is experiencing what spiritual researchers call the Great Identity Shift, a sudden, complete transformation of your core personality, values, and life direction that happens seemingly overnight. This isn't gradual personal growth, this is waking up one morning and feeling like you're inhabiting someone else's life. Sarah from Colorado shared her experience. I went to bed on a Tuesday night as someone who loved corporate life, designer clothes, and weekend parties. I woke up Wednesday morning with an inexplicable passion for herbalism, ancient history, and meditation. My friends said it was like I became a completely different person. Even my food preferences changed. I suddenly craved foods I'd never tried, but somehow knew how to prepare perfectly. Walk-in souls often describe this phenomenon as remembering who they really are rather than becoming someone new. Dr. Ruth Montgomery, who extensively studied walk-in phenomena, documented cases where individuals' handwriting, artistic abilities, and even accents changed dramatically after their walk-in experience. This occurs because the incoming soul brings its own neural pathways, muscle memories, and consciousness patterns. The scientific spiritual explanation lies in quantum consciousness theory. When a walk-in soul enters, it doesn't just occupy the body, it restructures the entire energetic matrix. Recent studies in consciousness research suggest that personality and preferences are stored not just in the brain, but in the body's cellular memory and biofield. A walk-in soul essentially overwrites this programming with its own multidimensional experiences. In daily life, this manifests as sudden expertise in subjects you never studied. You might find yourself speaking knowledgeably about historical periods you've never researched, or your hands might know how to perform tasks, playing instruments, crafting, healing techniques that you've never learned. Friends and family often comment that you're like a different person, and honestly, you are. The development guidance for this sign is crucial. Embrace the confusion. Your logical mind will struggle to understand how you can suddenly know things you've never learned. Journal these new aspects of yourself without judgment. Research the subjects that suddenly fascinate you. You'll often find historical connections that validate your soul's journey. Most importantly, don't try to force yourself back into your old identity to please others. Have you experienced a sudden, dramatic shift in who you are at your core? What aspects of yourself emerged that felt familiar yet impossible to explain? Sign 2, ancient memory downloads, knowing things you never learned. The second unmistakable sign is receiving what can only be described as ancient memory downloads, spontaneous, detailed knowledge about historical periods, spiritual practices, geographical locations, or cultural traditions that you've never studied or been exposed to in this lifetime. These aren't vague feelings or intuitions, they're specific, accurate memories that can often be historically verified. Marcus from New York describes his experience. I was watching a documentary about ancient Rome and suddenly I knew intimate details about daily life in Pompeii. The smell of the bakeries, the layout of houses I'd never seen, even personal names of people who lived there. When I researched it later, every detail I remembered was historically accurate, down to architectural features that had only recently been discovered by archaeologists. These memory downloads often come with emotional intensity. You might find yourself crying while visiting certain historical sites, feeling overwhelming nostalgia for time periods you've never experienced. or having visceral reactions to specific cultural practices. Walk-in souls frequently report dreams that feel more like memories, where they're living different lives in different time periods with such vivid detail that they wake up feeling displaced in their current reality. The spiritual science behind this phenomenon involves what researchers call soul memory imprinting. Each soul carries the accumulated wisdom and experiences of all its incarnations within its energetic signature. When a walk-in soul enters a new body, these memories aren't lost. They're integrated into the new consciousness system. Quantum physics suggests that information isn't destroyed, only transformed, and soul memories operate on the same principle. Daily manifestations include suddenly understanding ancient languages, knowing how to prepare historical recipes you've never encountered, or feeling inexplicably drawn to specific geographical locations that hold significance for your soul's journey. You might find yourself collecting artifacts or art from particular time periods, not because you chose to, but because they feel like coming home. For practical development, start documenting these downloads. Create a journal specifically for impossible knowledge. Record details about places, people, customs, or events that come to you spontaneously. Research them later. You'll be amazed at how accurate your soul memories are. Visit museums, historical sites, or cultural centers related to your memories. Often physical proximity to these energies will trigger even more detailed recollections. What historical period, culture, or ancient practice feels impossibly familiar to you as if you've lived it before? Sign 3. The soul mission activation, urgent purpose without clear origin. The third profound sign of being a walk-in soul is experiencing what spiritual teachers call soul mission activation, a sudden, overwhelming sense of divine purpose and urgency that seems to come from nowhere, accompanied by knowledge of exactly what you're meant to do, but, no logical explanation for how you know it. Traditional souls typically discover their purpose through exploration, experience, and gradual understanding. Walk-in souls, however, arrive with their mission already activated. It's like someone handed you a cosmic assignment with detailed instructions, and even though your human mind has no idea where these instructions came from, your soul recognizes them as absolutely true. Jennifer from Australia shared, 3 months after my spiritual awakening, I woke up with crystal clear knowledge that I was meant to teach ancient sound healing techniques. I had never studied sound healing, never even been interested in it, but I knew exactly which frequencies to use, how to structure healing sessions, even specific chants in languages I'd never heard. Within 6 months, I was successfully running healing workshops using knowledge that seemed to download directly into my consciousness. This urgent purpose often feels, bigger than your current life circumstances should allow. Walk-in souls frequently describe feeling called to global missions, environmental healing, consciousness elevation, ancient knowledge preservation, that seem impossible given their current resources or experience. Yet they feel compelled to pursue these missions with absolute certainty. The spiritual mechanism behind this involves what researchers term soul contract downloads. Walk-in souls don't enter randomly. They're specifically chosen and trained in higher dimensions for particular missions during Earth's current transformation period. Their sudden arrival comes with all necessary spiritual tools and knowledge pre-installed, almost like a cosmic software update. In daily life, this manifests as sudden expertise in healing modalities, teaching abilities, creative gifts, or leadership qualities that emerge without training. You might find yourself naturally knowing how to guide others through spiritual crises or discover that your words carry unusual healing power. People often seek you out for guidance, even when you feel like you're still figuring things out yourself. The development approach requires balancing divine confidence with human humility. Trust the knowledge that downloads, but ground it in practical service. Start small. Offer your gifts to friends, family, or local communities before expanding to larger missions. And document the results. You'll find that your success rate is unusually high because you're operating from soul wisdom rather than learned knowledge. Remember, walk-in souls often feel impatient because they remember their expanded capabilities from higher dimensions. Your human vessel needs time to integrate these gifts safely, so honor both the urgency of your mission and the timing of your human journey. What mission or calling has emerged in your life that feels too big, too important, and too familiar for your current experience level? If these signs are resonating deeply, confirming what your soul has been whispering, then you're part of something extraordinary happening on our planet right now. The final two signs we're about to explore reveal the most powerful aspects of walk-in consciousness. Subscribe now so you never miss the advanced spiritual psychology content that validates your deepest experiences. The universe guided you to this exact moment. Let's discover what your soul came here to remember together. Sign 4: multidimensional memory bleeding, living multiple timelines simultaneously. The fourth profound sign. It involves experiencing what we call multidimensional memory bleeding. This phenomenon is quite intriguing as it involves spontaneous access to memories, skills, and awareness from parallel timelines, alternate realities, and simultaneous incarnations that your walk-in soul is experiencing across multiple dimensions. Now, this goes beyond just past life memories. It's a present moment awareness of your soul's activities in other realities. You see, walk-in souls are typically multidimensional beings who maintain consciousness across several planes simultaneously. Unlike original souls, who are primarily focused in linear time, walk-ins often experience a sort of timeline fluidity where memories from their parallel lives spontaneously surface. David from Canada shares an interesting experience. He says, "I'll be having a normal conversation and suddenly I'll know intimate details about someone's life that I couldn't possibly know. But it's not psychic ability, it's like I'm remembering interactions with different versions of them from parallel timelines. I once helped a stranger solve a technical problem by describing a solution I'd never studied, but somehow I knew it would work because another me had solved it before in a different reality." This phenomenon includes experiencing what are called timeline slips, where you remember events differently than others do. Not because of false memory, but because you're actually accessing memories from alternate versions of current events. You might recall conversations that others insist never happened, or remember different outcomes to experiences you definitely shared. Quantum consciousness research actually supports this idea through the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, suggesting that, in theory, consciousness can access information across parallel realities. Walk-in souls operating from a more expanded dimensional awareness tend to maintain stronger connections to their parallel selves than traditional linear consciousness usually allows. Daily manifestations of this awareness include things like prophetic dreams that interestingly later prove accurate, sudden knowledge about people you've just met that feels more like remembering than simply intuiting, and experiencing déjà vu so often that it just becomes, well, normal for you. You might even find yourself automatically knowing how to get around new cities as if in another timeline you've already lived there. Some walk-ins report what's called parallel life bleeding, where skills, relationships, or even preferences from their alternate selves start to influence their current experience. You might suddenly speak phrases in accents you don't actually have, know cultural references from countries you've never visited, or find yourself missing people and places that honestly don't exist in this timeline. For development, it's really helpful to maintain a multi-dimensional journal. Record those times when you know things you shouldn't, remember events differently than others, or experience skills that seem to just come out of nowhere. Practice as much as you can, distinguishing between parallel memories and your current reality. This skill becomes crucial as your interdimensional awareness expands. Meditation that's specifically focused on timeline awareness can help you consciously access these parallel memories, instead of just having them pop up as confusing, spontaneous events. It's important to ground yourself in your current reality while also honoring the validity of your multidimensional experiences. Have you ever known things about people or situations that felt more like remembering than learning, as if you'd experienced them in another version of reality? Sign 5: the frequency mismatch, feeling like an alien in your own world. The fifth and most challenging sign of being a walk-in soul is experiencing persistent frequency mismatch. It's that feeling of being fundamentally out of sync with the energy, values, and consciousness level of the world around you. It's not because you're superior, but because you're literally vibrating at a different dimensional frequency than most of human society. This isn't about being anti-social or feeling better than others. Walk-in souls often describe feeling like they're wearing a human costume that doesn't quite fit, or living in a world that operates on outdated software while they're running advanced programming. Everything feels slightly off, too dense, too slow, too limited compared to the expanded reality your soul remembers. Lisa from England shares, "I constantly feel like I'm watching humanity through thick glass. I understand people intellectually, I care deeply about them, but their concerns often feel like watching children play with toys when you know there are galaxies to explore. Simple social interactions exhaust me because I have to consciously dumb down my energy to match the frequency of conventional conversation." This frequency mismatch extends to physical sensitivity. Walk-in souls often report increased sensitivity to electromagnetic fields, processed foods, synthetic materials, and dense emotional environments. Your expanded consciousness literally struggles to function optimally in a world designed for linear, third-dimensional awareness. The spiritual science involves consciousness calibration levels, as studied by Dr. David Hawkins. Walk-in souls typically operate at consciousness levels significantly higher than average human frequency, creating a constant need to either suppress their natural vibration or feel continuously out of place. In relationships, this manifests as difficulty connecting with others at the depth your soul craves. You might find yourself constantly explaining concepts that feel elementary to you, or feeling lonely even in crowds because few people can match your vibrational frequency for meaningful exchange. Environmental sensitivity increases. You might need more nature time, struggle with city energy, or find that your living space must be carefully curated to maintain your energetic balance. Traditional entertainment, news, or social media might feel unbearable because of their low vibrational content. Development requires creating what spiritual teachers call frequency bridges, practices that help you maintain your natural vibration while functioning in lower density environments. This includes regular energy clearing, spending time in high vibration spaces like nature, sacred sites, or spiritual communities, and carefully choosing your inputs, information, relationships, and environments. Learn to honor your sensitivity without becoming isolated. Your frequency mismatch isn't a problem to solve, it's confirmation that you're operating from expanded consciousness. Your role is to maintain your high vibration while compassionately serving others who are ready to expand their own awareness. Do you often feel like you're speaking a different language than everyone around you, even when using the same words? If you've recognized yourself in these 5 signs, you're not just awakening, you're remembering. You're a walk-in soul who chose to enter this reality during humanity's most crucial transformation period, bringing with you the accumulated wisdom of multiple lifetimes, parallel realities, and expanded dimensional awareness. Your sudden identity shifts aren't confusion, they're remembering who you really are. Your impossible knowledge isn't fantasy, it's accessing your soul's vast library of experiences. Your urgent sense of mission isn't ego, it's divine assignment activation. Your multidimensional awareness isn't imagination, it's natural spiritual ability. Your frequency mismatch isn't a problem, it's proof of your expanded consciousness. You incarnated now because Earth needs what you carry. Your ancient memories, your multidimensional awareness, and your high-frequency consciousness are gifts this world desperately needs. Every walk-in soul represents hope. Proof that advanced beings are, actively participating in humanity's evolution. Your sacred responsibility is to integrate these gifts consciously, serve from your expanded awareness, and remember that your presence here is not accidental. You are part of a cosmic intervention of love. Subscribe to continue exploring the advanced spiritual psychology that honestly validates your deepest experiences. Share this video with others who might be walk-in souls still searching for confirmation. The universe has perfect timing. You found this message exactly when you needed it. Your awakening was never about becoming someone new. It was about remembering the magnificent being you've always been across all dimensions of existence. Welcome home, beautiful soul. Welcome home.